What gender do you identify as?
Male.
I'm a man.
Male.
I identify as male.
Male.
Gender is male.
I think at least for the resident advisor position, there's a lot of equal opportunities regardless of gender, and I definitely have not seen it in my workplace. So
I feel like in certain ways I have been able to grow closer to my male residents, and haven't really been able to see the same relationship with my female residents, and I don't even think it's necessarily because we have any fundamental differences. I do think it's just because maybe as a male I was seen less approachable from the beginning, and any efforts that I might have made might have just not really been seen by them as much as some of the guys on my hall.
I think that it does, because I feel like there are times when people might perceive, like for instance, if I as a male am doing something that might not be like favorable to the residents, I feel like they could perceive that as me just being like an authoritative figure. Whereas if like a female in my same position does that, she could be seen as just being like annoying or sort of like kind of like being bossy or something like that.
I think that sometimes women have a harder time getting the respect that they deserve from their residents, and I think that is an issue that they have to deal with when they report it to their supervisors. And I think that sometimes men have a harder time getting our residents to open up to us.
I'm not exactly sure like in what specific facets, just because I'm a male, but I think it definitely, like, whatever your gender is, you need to be more cautious about the way you approach residents of the other gender. And I think like especially housing has done like slightly sexist stuff. Like I think they try to like dress code the girls at the start of the year. So I think it's tougher if you're a girl, but I can't speak too much on it because I'm not one.
I think it does in terms of rapport with the residents and kind of the position as an authority figure, because I've found a lot of times residents won't give the respect to a female RA that they would give me in the same situation.
What do you identify as?
I identify as a woman.
A woman.
Cis female.
I'm a female.
I am a female.
Female. I feel like gender has a big impact on my position just because I believe as a female it's a little bit harder for me to earn the respect of my residents and the other residents in the community. I think a lot of times the male RAs kind of have that respect and people think that they're like really cool or really fun because it's not seen as a traditional role for men, because women are always portrayed as the traditional caregivers and are kind of in those types of roles. So I think it's easier for men to earn the respect from their residents, and it's seen as a much cooler thing for a guy to do, whereas it takes a lot more for me to sort of earn that same respect.
So I definitely have noticed that it seems like male RAs tend to have better success when it comes to disciplining residents. They also have better success at creating bonds, especially with their male residents. And I think that comes from a place of lack of respect for women in the workplace. I think men by default get more respect than women from all demographics of people, but in particular from other adolescent boys. They're more likely to respect one of their peers than a woman of the same age.
There's definitely a difference in the way residents and even the boss man treats us, and depending on our gender, there's definitely a difference in the level of respect and the level of our authority, of how it affects like during duty and how it works during like confrontation and stuff. So.
I think for the female RAs, we're maybe taken a little less seriously. I feel like when I'm working with the boys, they kind of get to be like cool and more laid back because they kind of inherently have the residents' respect, whereas the girl RAs I feel like have to be really hard ass on everyone all the time to demand any respect, which can definitely be frustrating.
So I think there's a little less respect for women than the men. For example, when I had to go deal with a noise complaint, there was all guys, not one girl in there, and I was with a male RA, and I was talking to them first, and they were kind of just ignoring me, like laughing it off. And when my male RA co-RA stepped in, that's when they finally started listening.
I think it does, especially in Granville Towers. I feel like male RAs are more respected by the residents, and I feel like as female RAs, we are not as much, and it makes completing rounds or interacting with residents more challenging based on our gender.